On today's show, it's just me. You're stuck with me for the whole 45 minutes or an hour. I've got a great guest for you. Stay tuned. Make sure to grab a coffee and hone in for a good conversation on your health and how your physical health and your mental health connect with each other. We'll see you on the podcast. Okay. Hi, Darpan. So happy to have you today.
How are you?
I'm good. As you can see, I'm going solo today. We're going off book, you and I.
Let's do it. We miss you, Kimothy.
No, yes, absolutely. But now I'm going to say it again because I can't get it stuck in my head. Darpan Ahluwalia. Is it
You
right?
got it.
Did I do it? Yes. You are everywhere. So many different things. You are at the naturopathic market in Manotick.
Yep.
You're an author. There's so many different things all over the place. I'm so happy to have you here to chat. As you know, we talk about mental health, and the folks that come here are the women that are trying to get their health in line. And as you and I both know, that mental health is a large part of that. And how do we really line up both so everybody can kind of heal as one unit? And so let's just get into it. So maybe you could start by telling everyone a little bit more about you, about all of your endeavors, and then I'll pick pieces out and we'll talk about those.
How much time do you got? I'm kidding.
So much time for you all the time.
Well, I'm also known as Total Nutrition Diva. I'm quite a diva snob where it comes to health and modalities. So I've had this beautiful Manotick Natural Market store for 25 years. This October, I bought from my grandfather.
Already 25 years? Oh my
I
God.
know, like I started when I was 5. So yeah.
Really put you to work.
And I've been practicing for 22 years. So if you're following me on Total Nutrition Diva, you'll see all the different things I do. But my main niche is live blood analysis. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, a homeopath, a functional medicine practitioner, herbalist, plant therapist. The list kind of goes on. I love anything to do with health and nutrition and supplements because they are so needed with everything going on with our food right now.
My goodness, yes. Tell me more about the live blood because I'm very interested, and I promise we'll circle all back. Everything will be circled back to
Sure.
health and health in general, but let's start there because you just mentioned it and I'm super curious. Tell me more.
Okay, so it's a great modality that I added to my practice about 19 years ago. And one of the reasons I added that was because when I would talk to my clients and talk about symptoms and their issues, 90% of the time they would not be very true to themselves because they think their symptoms were normal because they were happening for so often for so long that they just didn't think about it. So when I do live blood, which is just a quick prick on a fingertip like you would do a blood sugar test, I take a speck of the blood, put in a microscope, which is a dark field microscope where I've been trained under. And what basically I am doing is reading your microbiomes. So, what that is, the good and the bad bacteria that runs your whole system. So, I am looking at your gut health, I'm looking at your liver, I'm looking at all the organs, your red blood cells, your white blood cells. I can see parasites, I can see overgrowth of bacteria, quote unquote, candida, heavy metals. So that gives me an indication of what's going on with my clients so I can have a better conversation with them as to what protocol would be best for them. Now, it doesn't replace your medical test you do with your doctors. This is a more holistic way of looking at someone's health and getting to the root cause of it versus the band-aid approach.
I love it because, for so many reasons. I mean, I've come to see you myself, but I have felt myself multiple times lost in the, let's say, quote unquote, traditional medical system,
Mhm.
where, even though you're measuring different levels of whatever, it's always normal. And every time I see like a naturopathic expert or any other different modalities, it's never what they tell me. It's all, it's always different because the range of what's normal is so large. And then that's why
It's very wide.
I
Yes.
feel like that's probably why a lot of us feel like we're normal. And it's like, this is what the doctor said. This is what's happening. Is that, kind of what people are clenching onto? Like, what is your biggest lesson you've learned from all these women that are coming in saying like, yeah, well, something's wrong.
Oh
I
yeah, they're definitely frustrated, and I would say probably 99% of them are disappointed that their doctors are not listening to them because they have these symptoms, but because the medical system has to go through certain testing to see where the variation of their scoring system lies down, and if it comes under normal, they say it's normal, right? Even though the client's having those symptoms. The biggest thing I find with the clients is they use the natural route as the last resort,
Right. No, I,
right?
I
Because
agree. I'm guilty of it myself. Um, I think that I'm maybe more aware or more aligned because I hang out with a bunch of people, and you're in my circle, and there's other people in my circle that I'm more aware of it.
yeah,
But like to that point, I think that a lot of us go through for or looking for testing, medical testing of whatever, but then it comes back and it's still like, oh, you're still still normal. And it's like, I don't feel normal though. And then it's like you have to go digging.
and that's the main thing, right? People are looking for something that has coverage under OHIP, so they don't have to
Mm.
pay from pocket. And then it's human nature, they're so busy, they want to take, for example, they have a headache, they want to take that Advil, let the headache go without looking at why the headache happened. So they're like on the go all the time, especially us as women. We don't have time for ourselves. We take care of
Yeah,
our kids, our parents, our partners, our boyfriends, even our friends, and then we forget about ourselves. So we want the quick fix, right? Most people just want the quick fix. Us as naturopaths and holistic practitioners can give you certain supplements to kind of make you feel a little bit better, but we still want to find out what the root cause is. Are you having the headache because your liver is congested? Is it because your hormones are off? So there is a lot that goes into the analysis part for the clients to get them the right protocol.
I love it because you know
Mhm.
what? I suffered for a really long time with digestion issues.
Yeah.
Uh, some are related to stress, which actually have subsided. And others were related to SIBO
Yeah.
and H. pylori.
Hmm.
And I didn't know. And I went to so many people trying to figure this out because we're not close in geography, very close. So I went to a number of different people trying to figure it out. And oh my God, what a relief when I was like, yay, there's something wrong with me and we know what it is.
People get excited. They're like, at least I'm not crazy. That's the first thing I hear
Right?
from them. Yes.
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 At least I'm not crazy. And you don't like to your point, I don't know if you're live, you'll have to tell me the live blood testing would look for things like that because you talked about bacteria and stuff, which is SIBO.
Yep.
I don't know
So
what
we're
it
looking at
that.
small intestinal bacteria organisms too, so we can see the imbalances of that. Yes.
Wild.
Yeah.
It plagued my life for years and just didn't
And
know.
it's a tough protocol, and it takes a very long time for the body to kind of get back into balance once you have SIBO or SIDO or any
Yeah.
kind of gut issues, right? Your gut and brain's connected. So if people are like, oh, I can't focus, I have brain fog, I'm like, let's talk about the gut. Like, let's talk about your bowel movements. Let's talk about, all your symptoms and your irritations, your sleep patterns. Like, so much information come from just giving the time and talking to your client that could help. A small change could make such a huge change, right, in their body.
And I think that people just don't like, even though we always hear like your gut is your second brain, I think that's what
Yes.
the saying is. I think people
Hmm.
maybe don't take it as seriously as legitly as it is. And it's, when it's messed up, and then you come and you're so used to living in that situation. I speak from experience, and you're just like on a slog all day long. And then you finally get that and it starts to dissipate and cure.
Yes.
You're just like, oh my God, is this the Amy that I am? Like, who is this person and where has she been?
Yeah, it's a huge difference. And you know what? More and more people are talking about the gut health and the brain connection. I've been talking about it for 20 years, but finally, because medical system is actually more involved into
Yeah.
saying there's a connection, people are more open to it.
Yeah, I mean, in my daily work with caregivers and seniors, I hear you, right? Like I've been talking
Yeah.
about the issues around shortage of housing and care and all that, and I've been doing that for 20 years and it's still like not quite there. And you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna wait this out and wait for people to see it and
Yeah.
catch up. It must be very frustrating for you to kind of like watch that, right? And it like finally getting to
Um, as an empath, as a practitioner, knowing all the knowledge I have, I'm definitely grateful for it. But yes, very frustrated. Like, it's usually said you are what you eat, but in the last decade or couple of decades, our foods changed so much as well. So my
Mhm.
tagline for about 22 years now has been you are what you absorb. Now I see other medical systems using that tagline, which really frustrates me, and I'm saying it out loud. I
Yeah.
started that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the offshoot, right? Like, so as a business owner as well, right? Like we have to deal with a lot of that stuff that comes up that, we have been looking at stuff for so long and maybe we weren't loud enough. I don't know. But like, how do you um wrap your head around that as an entrepreneur as well? Like, and kind of that, like, I basically, I told you so, but like now people are basically, like you said, taking kind of what you said, whether or not they got it specifically from something that you had put out or whatnot. How do you wrap your head around that and move forward with it? Like, so I guess the question that comes to mind with me is that, in my field, there's definitely things that we started that we were doing. And as an entrepreneur, I take great pride in these proprietary services and
Yes.
sayings and things like that. How do you deal with this?
Honestly, you can't stick in the past. It's take it as a compliment that you started something and then everybody kind of took over from it. Because overall, it's for the benefit of the community, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where they get it from. Um, yes, it can be frustrating as a business owner, and you work your bejesus off to get to where you
Mhm.
are, and then someone who's famous will say one thing that you have and it just takes over. But you know what? They're not you and you're not them. They're going to have their people come and attract it towards them. I'm going to have my people come to me. So honestly,
Mhm.
maybe when I was younger, it used to get to me more. At this point, I just like, at least you got it. Fix yourself, help yourselves. That's
Yeah.
more important than really like having that ego. But no, it's a good feeling too, seeing what
Yeah.
people are doing, following what you have been doing. So yeah, it's got some pros and cons, but I think more pros.
I think that's a good lesson though for younger entrepreneurs. I mean, I feel like we're all over the place because there's so many different variables that we could talk about today, but I feel like that's a good spot as well for younger entrepreneurs who haven't had that life experience, right? Because to your point, when I was younger, it got me more.
Yes.
Now I'm
Yeah.
just, at least someone is helping this person. Like
And
at
it's the
least
same
they're getting
thing.
the help.
My daughter says it, my friends say it, even some social media, like, do TikTok, TikTok. And I'm like, I don't resonate with TikTok. If
Yeah.
someone wants information, they can follow me on Total Nutrition Diva page or come talk to me in person. I just
Yeah.
don't relate, but I do understand you got to go with the system, the new era, and be part of that. But if it doesn't connect with me, I don't want to put myself under that kind of a stress and just
Yeah.
do what I do, and people will find me.
To be fair, I don't connect with TikTok either. And luckily I have someone on my team who does. So I'm like, you do
Oh,
the
that's
TikTok.
great.
You take care of the TikToks. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but to your point though, it makes it a lot more stressful if you're trying to put a circle into a square, right? Like you're trying to get the information out, but if
Yeah.
if it's a foreign way to do it, then it's not going to help you
I
and you,
just want to do it my way. Do you know what I mean? Like,
like
I don't
Frank
want to have the
Sinatra.
new latest trend of music or the dance move that goes with stuff to teach people which magnesium is best. I just want to give you the information, like the way it is.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so talk to me about what you think some of the biggest mistakes we make as women are or as we are women or women make when we're looking at mental health and physical health. Because like you said, a lot of people come to you kind of after they've exhausted their, claimable system. Let's call it that. It's
Right. Yeah.
claimable system. Um, what do you think, what kind of mistakes are people making when they're going through that system and they finally arrive at you?
You know what? It's not just mistakes. It's like what they're comfortable with, or what they've been brought up with. By the time they come to me, yes, it's exhausted, so it's more like stress on me that I have to figure out a way. Which I tell them I'm not a fixer. I'm just a stepping stone, basically, to get you the root cause, and then you still need to work on it. The biggest mistake I would say is people wait for too long to ask for help.
Mhm.
And especially women, as I mentioned earlier, they forget to take care of themselves. Even today, I had a lady come in with her 15-year-old who has severe anxiety, and she's like, I want to, help her do this, blah, blah, blah. I suggested, and I said, well, now let's talk about you. What do you need? She's like, oh, I need to concentrate on her. I said, yeah, but like she's looking up to you. If she sees you're stressed, probably stressing her too. So you need to take care of yourselves, because your kids are watching you, your friends are watching you, your clients are watching you. And we always forget that, we think we're super moms or super women, which
Of
we are. We have different capes
course.
in our
Yeah.
wardrobe. We know that.
Yeah.
But we need to still take care of our health, because if you don't have your health and you don't take care of yourself, there's nobody, absolutely nobody out there who's going to take care of you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
Right.
mean, we're saying the same thing, just in different different areas, but it's true, right? And really, the more that you don't take care of your own physical health,
Yeah.
it causes mental health issues. It causes more stress. It causes different things, because like we talked about at the first, about the connection between gut and everything else, really. And if
Right.
taking care of that,
It's
again,
a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect.
I've seen it firsthand, and it's not a good road to go down on. So it's just,
Exactly. And be
yeah.
selfish. It's okay to be selfish. You want to take a day off, take a day off. If you don't want to go to this event you're supposed to go, even though you paid, you don't have to go.
Oh, I
Go
did
with
that
the
the other
self-care.
day.
Yeah, I've done that, and more so in the last little while, I've started to, like, understand who I want to really share my energy with.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's okay to be selfish, because
I
you
don't
need to
think it's
take care of
selfish.
yourself.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's selfish though. I think caring for yourself is not selfish, because to your point, the same point I make is, who else is going to do it?
Yeah.
Right? Who else is going to do it? So
No,
if,
but that's our society, right? That's our culture. That's the way the women have been brought up. Take care of the family, take care of this,
yeah.
take care of that, everything, but yourself is always last. So it's like the guilt that comes along with it. Oh, I have to do something for myself. Oh, I have to take a day off. Oh, am I going out with my friends? You get this nudge in the middle of your tummy sometimes, going, oh my God, I'm doing something myself. And it shouldn't be there. It's so, like, you know what you're saying? Like, it's be selfish. It's okay. Let
Yeah.
it come, and it'll disappear after a few times of that happening.
Yeah. So if someone's listening now and this is completely foreign information to them, they've
Yes.
been under a rock, they don't know any of
Right.
the information,
Yeah.
where do they start? Like, how do they wrap their head around what to do or where to start? Because that person that's listening is probably at a point where we're talking about super frustrated, know
Mm-hmm.
by intuition that there's
Mm-hmm.
something wrong, there's something off, and they
Right.
cannot get an answer. How do they start? Where do they go? Like,
There's so many routes they can do, but first take a deep breather, sit down without any disruptions of kids, work, whatever, and just listen to your body. Your body will always tell you what it needs. Listen to your body, make some notes as to like where I was, a couple of years ago, where am I now? What has changed? Do I have a lot of pain in the body? Am I getting more exhausted? Get a blood panel done, regular test done with your medical doctor. Get your physicals done. Those are important. Find a holistic practitioner, myself, a naturopath, or a live blood analyst, to get deeper into how your body, your health, your mind, your spirit can be helpful. Now, I also say that we're like onions, okay?
Mm.
The core of the onion is you. And then all these layers is what has happened to you. Okay. So it could be a trauma, could be a divorce, could be sexual abuse, could be someone saying something to you. Like all these make you who you are. So that's great. You're doing the medical system. And it's great. You're going to go come see someone for the nutrition part of it too. But then you want to look at the physical, you want to look at the mental health, you want to look at the energy medicine, and try to incorporate a little bit of everything to make yourself more wholesome. Yes, it can get more expensive because you have so many different modalities you want to do. So you start focusing on where do you want to start? And
Mm.
it's going to be a different answer for everybody. Some people are more intuitive, more energy medicine. They don't want to do anything even with natural supplements. So they'll go into like past life regressions, Reiki, different things. And then there's some people who don't want to do medications at all, and they want to only do supplements and not any energy medicine either because of religious beliefs or whatever. Then there's that route too. So see where you're connected most and resonates with you and start there. Just start somewhere.
I love it. And I think that also just as like a tidbit of my own learning, there's a lot of things like blood tests and stuff that you can get through your family physicians that are covered,
Absolutely.
and then you
Mhm.
merge them over to someone like you.
I had three of them come today. They're like, I don't know how to read this because they don't have the time to explain. And they say
Mm.
everything's under normal. But I go much deeper and going, oh, that's close to the borderline. Let's start doing this. So there's
Mhm.
many things that can be done. People just need to be more proactive, and we're not. We just are not
No.
till we actually have a disease or disease that makes us or forces us to actually take that next step. Why wait for that?
Yeah. Well, in my line too, right? It's like we're
Yeah.
preaching all the time. Please pre-plan, talk to us before, and they wait for that crisis when there's someone in a hospital and they all have
Yes.
to change schedules and do everything. And it's like, it's not easier in a crisis. It's
And you
harder.
know what? There's no one to be blamed really other than yourselves, but it's the way the society has embedded certain things in our system, in our body, in our brain, that unless something is really wrong, you need to only then go see someone. Something
Yeah.
called maintenance. Just like you would take your car. You
Yeah.
go for a gas change, you put gas in the car, oil change, I should say, sorry, not gas change. um, you need all those maintenance to continue with that car to be, working much longer than whatever. So same thing with the body. Body's a machine too. You're gonna exhaust it, it's gonna break down. So you need to take care of it.
Well, and a lot of people say, oh, I can't fit this in, or I don't have time to do that. And it's like, if you don't make the time for your health,
Yes.
then your
Yeah.
body will be like, now's the time. And then you're flat
Right.
out and you got no other option at that point than to
And then
fix.
it's more expensive, and they're like, "Oh my God, I went to a practitioner, spent $1,000."
Yeah. And
Well,
it's all uphill. It's all
yeah,
painful then until you
yeah,
get back to the top of the hill.
right. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
we talk about
And
it
you
all
know what?
day.
Like it's the same thing with me. I'll be like my guilty here is like I don't like working out. But I know it's good for my bone, good for my bones, good for my mental health. So I force myself to go into it and then trying different things and going, you know what? I really like Pilates and I'm going to stick with that. I really like boxing. I'm going to stick with that. Anything that's going to resonate with you, that's going to get you out to being a little bit more active, that's the same thing you would do with your health, with your energy, like everything.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of going to the gym and things like that, what else do you do to support your mental health? Because I'm guessing, again, similar to me, you see a lot, you have a lot of people and you're kind of intaking their energy. Both of us are empathic, right? And so you're taking
Yeah.
in their energy and it's often chaotic. And we want to not fix people, but we want to help. We want to problem solve and deal with that. But it can weigh, it does, I'm sure it weighs on me. How do you deal?
It's a very heavy work that you do. It's a very difficult and hard work that I do as well because I'm basically seeing sick people all
All the
day
time?
long,
Yeah.
365 days a year. for the past 25 plus years. So it's depressing. And the worst is when you see kids. Like today, I had a 15-year-old
Mm.
and a 9-year-old. I don't want to see young kids. I want them to be happy, playing, not depressed and having anxiety. But
Yeah.
it is happening right now, is because people are too involved in playing games, computer, not going out, getting fresh air. Like, I mean, there's so much things that have changed in the past couple of decades, which people need to get back into. But it's also the parents who need to say like, okay, let's put you in a sport. Okay, let's take the time to just go for a walk. If we can't afford a sport, let's just go for a family walk. Like,
Mhm.
we love doing that, and that just gets you talking about their life, about what's going on in the school time. Maybe something came up and they forgot to tell you, and something important that would, help them kind of understand what's going on with that
Yeah.
conversation that might have happened with a friend or whatever. So it's the time. You need the time. And I know it's busy because we're all so busy in paying our bills,
Yeah. Yeah. And
right?
so does that help you settle your mental state after your day, kind of going, like, I know you have children as well, like you go out for walks and you hit the gym. Do you do anything else to kind of support your?
Meditation, listen to Hertz music. I love playing with my cards and stones. I like making my teas. Anything that gives me that Zen moment. Cooking. I'll do a
Yeah.
lot of cooking. I'm always cooking. Um, just anything and everything that's gonna make you bring to a joyous, happy moment is where you want to go. It could be knitting, it could be swimming, it could be a sexual activity.
Okay.
Sensuality is so, so important in health, for not only physical, emotional, but also mental health.
Can we talk more about that?
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I don't know. Tell me it all. Tell me how, how it all relates, because I don't think it's talked about enough. And
No, it's not talked about enough. And I really wanted to put a lot of that information in the hormone book that I launched. But there will be another section coming out more just about sensuality and sexual health, and especially when you're going through certain menopause, what positions and certain things you can do to make things more interesting for your life and your partner.
mm,
I mean, I know you're empath, so you understand chakras, and not everybody's open to chakras, but let's not even say chakra, let's say meridians. Okay, there are certain meridians in our body, and the root chakra, if it's blocked, you often will find that you are tired, you don't have enough libido. So there are certain things, food wise, color wise, music wise, herbs wise, that you can do to enhance that. And you know what? I know a lot of people don't like talking about sexual health and sensuality and all that stuff, but it is so important.
mm,
Like, it is great for mental health. It gets your oxytocin levels going, the happy hormones going. I mean, I'm not saying do something wrong to get that going, but there's healthy boundaries that can be put around to have good, healthy libido.
yeah, for sure. So if someone was like, I don't know anything about chakras, I don't know anything, what are you women talking about right now?
Right.
Can we give them like one takeaway to be like, try this? Like you talked about Hertz music, you talk about different things. Like, is there something that they could just like try or do to see?
One simple thing that's not going to interact with many people at the moment, say they're like very religious, instead of talking about chakras and all that stuff, let's say just Hertz music, just any kind of music that you could relate to. There could be number 412, number 888. So try listening to different.
Their
Just go on YouTube
frequencies,
and
right?
type in anxiety, for example. Anxiety hurts music. Listen to 4 or 5 different types they have. Listen to it and see which one is resonating and the vibration is resonating with you, that's calming you. And then listen to that. Start there, because music is very therapeutic. Music
Hmm.
is anywhere from energy medicine to love language to everything. So find the frequency and the vibration of music. It could be a guitar, it could be
Yeah.
drums, it could be saxophone. Like, I love the sax. So, I mean, it really depends what your vibration of the body wants to absorb and listen to. And that's going to either make you really up and uplifting or calm and relaxing. And we need both of that at certain times of our life and certain times
Yeah.
of our day. So maybe just start with that and see.
I think like that's good advice for sure. And I've dabbled in myself, but I think that the bottom line of what we're kind of saying is pay attention
Pay
to how
attention.
your body and mind react to shit and do more or less of it, depending on what it is,
Because
right?
we don't
Because
listen to our body, we
we
ignore
don't.
it. Like, we have pain, 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 pain. We ignore it because we're so busy with everything, and then that becomes just something in the back burner till something severe happens. So just listen. Don't ignore your symptoms, because symptoms are a way of the body talking to you, saying, I
Hmm.
have a pain here somewhere, need to look into it. Okay, I'm feeling tired today, my eyes flickering, I have muscle pain. All these are symptoms of the body screaming out, saying, I need help.
Yeah. At the minimum, Doctor Google it. At the very minimum. See if you can, because
At the
I
very
don't.
minimum, I'm not a big dog of Dr. Google or Dr. Oz, because I get so many clients actually self-diagnosing themselves and taking a whole bunch of these different supplements and then coming like, it didn't work or things got worse. It's because Dr. Google and Dr. Oz and all those people are great. You get some information, but nobody's body is the same as the other person. You might
No.
have the same symptom as I do,
Yeah.
but our root cause causing that symptom could be completely different, right?
Yeah.
So finding that root cause of why you're having that headache, is it hormonal? Is it your liver because it's so congested? Is it something that you're eating? Are you allergic to something? Those are the key factors that makes everybody different, what's going to work for them. Also, because all of us biochemistry is different,
Yeah.
so different protocols is going to work for everybody.
Well, and I should refine that, like, don't use it in place of advice from professionals. I would tell you though,
It's a nice guideline, though.
that's kind of what I was going to say. Like, because
Yeah.
I was down a pit of struggling for a long time, and I was looking things up, trying to connect my own dots because I just couldn't find
Yes,
any like there like I just couldn't get anything close to like a direction. And so it was able to get me into a direction, and then I was able to kind of like solve it with the practitioner, right? And so I think that
absolutely.
it
You
gives you
have to
that
be a health advocate all the time. You
all
have
the
to be a health
time.
advocate. Yeah,
You have to, and
yeah.
you have to be willing to say, no, that normal diagnosis, that's
Hmm.
right. There's something else, and I'm not going to just take that. And I'm going to continue on my journey and find someone else who can help me then.
Yeah, and then once you've researched that, what question to ask your doctor too. So you're a
Yeah.
little bit more educated. So yes,
Yeah.
you need to be your own health advocate for sure. It's a great guideline, but still go see a
Yes,
registered
please.
practitioner to like kind of get you to the right one, right
Absolutely.
protocol. Yeah.
Agreed. Tell me what this bottle is in our screen. I've been looking at it our whole chat. Tell me more.
This is something Kimothy should be taking right now. Um, it is a very unique blend of turmeric, ginger, lavender, oregano, and black pepper. It's called My Golden Root. It is my formulation. I formulated this about 7 years ago. And there's a great story that goes into the formulation of this. About 7, 8 years ago, turmeric was becoming the new fad. Okay, just like every year, there's a new thing. And people were using it not in the correct manner. So, for example, what I mean to say with that is a lot of people would message me and saying, oh, I tried doing the turmeric and it didn't do what it's supposed to say. Or some people would say, I started getting hives after taking it. Some people said they started getting cramps. Some people got diarrhea. And then they would tell me how they were using it. So, turmeric is a very beautiful yellow herb, which is big in our culture. We use turmeric in all our curries, all our foods, has lots of benefits. But it's also a very large molecule, and it's a large fat molecule.
Hmm.
So you're not supposed to take a spice of turmeric and just throw it in a cold environment like a protein shake and take it. It will actually do the reverse if you're not able to break down the fat molecule of the turmeric that you just threw it in the protein shake. Okay. So people would get reactions from that. Plus, I wanted something more, even though we use a lot of turmeric in my household, I wanted something that was like a little bit easier for my kids to take. And one of the main reasons was my friend was going through cancer, and I knew the benefits of turmeric, but I also knew because there's a compromised immune system, that means her enzyme production is not working. I needed to formulate something that would be easy for her to take and that would get her system doing what turmeric is supposed to do for cancer cells and inflammation and everything. So that was the beginning of the journey. So it is made in a Health Canada approved lab, and it's traveling the world. So I always wanted to travel the world, but having a physical store, 3 kids, and a dog makes it really difficult. So a part of me goes to Dubai, to Paris, to Australia, and I'm getting amazing results with this for inflammation, digestion, IBS, Crohn's, immune system. It was also mentioned as the top 10 remedy during the pandemic
Wow.
for the top 10 super immune foods. And I think it tastes good, but I could be biased. It tastes like a very strong Italian dressing. So I tell people if you find it's too sour or tangy, you can put in a shot of juice, and you can put this in your protein shake without having the adverse effects.
I was gonna say when you talked about putting just turmeric in the protein shake, I was like, that sounds disgusting. Who
People
is
do it.
doing that?
People do it. Yeah, people
Oh my
still do it.
goodness. That's an
Yeah.
amazing
Even with
product.
the pepper. Even with the
Yeah.
pepper, yes, it'll bring the absorption level slightly better, but it's still a fat molecule. And say you're someone whose liver is congested, you have autoimmune, you have leaky gut, which most people do, and you don't have a gallbladder, how are you breaking down that fat molecule? You're not. Okay.
Yeah.
So it needs to be made more accessible for the body to absorb it. And this heals your gut lining. This is one of the best things that will help with leaky gut, which
Mm.
in return will help with brain health. So for me, this has been my number one for my concussion since last year. It's been really helpful along with other things. So there's a lot of benefits. You guys can always pop in for a sample or have any questions, reach out.
Wild. Awesome. That's amazing. And you also are an author. You have 2 books, right out at like bam, bam. You have been busy. Can you tell us about those books? Tell us more.
So this came out last year. This is the context eating method for women, how to lose weight without sucking all the gluten, chocolate, and wine-filled joy from your life.
Okay.
Obviously, if you have allergies to something, this doesn't apply to you. But there is a lot of people who do weight loss and they get frustrated because they lose the weight, then they gain the weight. And I've been doing weight loss with one of my friends who's a nutritionist for since 2009, and we've just been doing our own thing in the meantime too. And then we got back together a couple of years ago saying, you know what, all this knowledge we have, all these clients we saw for I don't know, 20 plus years, let's put it down, especially during the pandemic time when we weren't able to see a lot of people. So people have the education and the knowledge, and they can at least have some basis to start with. Most
Mhm.
weight loss will talk about emotional triggers. This one will go into not only emotional, but it will also go into physiological, situational, habitual. All these different triggers, once you understand where they are in relationship with food for yourself, you will have a better understanding as to how you can still enjoy all the good food, all the foods without feeling guilty once it's in the right context. So, for example, you have a birthday party for your kids and you want to eat that cake. It's the right context, it's a celebration. Enjoy it without feeling the guilt. Because the minute you feel the guilt, that's when your adrenals will come up, stress will come up, and then the vicious cycle starts. But there is a piece of cake left in the fridge, and it's
The
2 o'clock in
dreaded
the
piece of
morning.
cake. Oh my God. Yes.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning. There's 7 people in the household, and you're like, oh boy, someone else will take it. So you go in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning, you get a big glass of milk and you get that cake and you just shove it down just because you didn't want anybody else to have it and you just wanted to have the last piece of cake. That's not the right context. Now, that is a different trigger, and your whole body is channeling that in a whole different way than joy. It's stress eating, right? So when we make people understand that you can have the glass of wine, you can have that cupcake, you can have this, you can have that, all in the right context once you understand your triggers. And we start telling people to, there's a nice chart in here and a menu plan that you can follow through and see how it works for you.
Amazing. Yeah, those
And
night
sorry.
eating, it's like to your point, it's usually a habitual or stress related, right? And so that's really interesting. I'm sure lots of people are finding a lot of value in that
Oh
book.
yeah, we had a client because we have an online group too where we consult, and she's like, "I hate you guys." Like, why? She's like, every day from work, I would stop at Tim Hortons, I would get my donut, and I would get my coffee, and I don't do that anymore. And if I go do it and I put it in my mouth, I don't feel satisfied anymore. I'm like, yeah,
You wrecked
because
it for her.
I wrecked it for her. So we get stories like that quite often, which is hilarious, but a great addition to a lot of the testimonies we get. So it's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
fun. It's
amazing.
fun. It has to be fun. The minute it becomes a chore,
Yeah,
it's not, people are not going to follow through. That's why so many programs fail, right? People are not going to follow through and the
yeah.
accountability that's needed with it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And tell me about the other one now.
this one. Okay, so this is called the SOS for your hormone hot mess. So when we're signing this book for you, I always like to write, don't be a mess, just be hot. And people laugh at that. We wanted to keep all the titles really just fun and light and still have a conversation because even though there are a lot of books on hormones, there's a lot of more talk happening on hormones now.
Hmm.
It's not something that's generally spoken about. And I also want men to pick up this book and read and see and understand what's going on with their wife or their partner so they can understand their mood swings, they can understand what's going on, and maybe be a part of that.
Yeah.
So this one talks a lot about just the hormones. It talks about our stories with Kathy's story with PCOS and other things where the doctors just kept on denying that there was any hormonal issues, and how just fixing one certain thing just changed her life. For me, my story talks about having a concussion and how that shifted my hormones from the accident by bleeding for 21 days. And that shifted my hormones. So people need to understand that hormones don't just happen because the timeline, oh, I'm 44, oh, I'm 50, so happening. It can happen because a trauma has happened in your life. It
Mhm.
can happen if you're stressed. It can happen if there's imbalances. So just making people understand what to look for even when you're doing a hormone test with your practitioner or your medical doctor. And just like we were talking earlier, in Canada, we have a great system and the OHIP pays for a lot of things. But when you get your hormone panel testing done, 90% of the time, the females are denied their test because they're told they don't need it. Whereas
Mhm.
if a man goes for a testosterone test, it's given right away,
Yeah.
right? So we talk about that, and there's other resources and sources to do a hormone panel test via through us or other practitioners, but also how to talk to your doctor about your symptoms and push that this
Yeah.
test is needed, and then bring those results to some practitioners so you can go through a little bit more in depth as to what is going on with your body, so you don't feel crazy all the flipping time.
I
Because
think too.
hormones make you crazy. They
They
do.
do. And
They
I
do.
think to your point earlier that we were talking about, it's like you have to advocate for yourself. And it's long and it's painful. And you have to, case in point, I've known for a very long time that I have estrogen dominance. And
Yeah.
I talked to the gynecologist about it multiple times. And I finally got a test back that he ordered. Oh, you have estrogen dominance. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh, oh, no way.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm not putting the medical system down in any way, just in case any of my friends who are doctors or my family listening, because they're all doctors, uh, is 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 there's a place for both,
Yeah, I do
and
think
if
so.
we can somehow connect them, wouldn't that be amazing for our clients?
So good.
Less
A holistic
frustration, faster
practice for them.
healing, less medications, more energy, more libido.
Oh, Darpan, you are a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me, even though it's just me. I appreciate
I love it. I love one-to-ones. Kimothy, I definitely missed you. Hopefully I get to see you soon.
it. Wonderful. And for all you who are watching, if you wouldn't mind subscribing and hitting the notification button on YouTube, helps us get our podcast further. And to the next time, welcome back next time on The Inner Shift.